Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Here we go. You can't hide the pain. I can see it scrawled on your empty face, and I feel the hurt. It's in the words you say. They make me want to scream out to the world for taking life for granted. And I know you are by my side when I turn to hear you cry. I am so afraid of living in oblivion. I am so afraid of living in oblivion. Am I so blind, with my eyes turned to a different time and hour, at the end of the day, when we both run down in a heart so heavy? Tell me what you will, 'cause I've got to know the truth inside of you. Can you hear what I say when I hold you and you scorn the day? I am so afraid of living in oblivion. I am so afraid of living in oblivion. Living in oblivion. Living in oblivion. So I ask again, am I so all alone and full of pride to never speak out? This is my world, this is my world. Don't tell me now, I won't feel those words hoped I won't feel the lies they tell. Can you hear my scream? It's for everyone. Now everyone, I am so afraid of living in oblivion. I am so afraid of living in oblivion. Woo. And there we are. And there you are. I have no idea if you're there, actually, because I'm trying not to pay attention to the chat at the moment, because I know that if I pay attention to the chat, I will mess up royally. And, you know, that's what happens when I listen to the chat. I mess up. So, anyway, I had to, you know, mess things up today. So anyway, let's see, where are we? Oh, shoot. Am I on the wrong camera? I guess I am, but it doesn't matter. Oh, we'll go to this one. Hey, hi, everyone. Hi. Now I can go and look at the chat. Oh my gosh. Let's see what terrible things I have wrought. So let's start from the top. Oh my gosh, there's a lot of you on here. Oh, wow. Oh, shoot. Okay. Facebook, Claudio, Fega, Matt, Mai, Joseph, Ariel, hola, hola, Matt, I said that already, Hazel, and on YouTube, TMT, Ira, I don't see any Twitch yet, but, oh, there's a Twitch, Teledari, Paul, Emilio, hi, hi, thank you. Wendy, hey, Wendy's here. Keith Lejeune, hi, on YouTube. Oh, man. So, welcome back. By the way, I screwed up, and I've been posting that it was number 73, and it's actually number 74, but it's actually number 75. Which kind of messes things up a little bit, because people are going to go thinking that they're watching the new one when they're not. So that's kind of funny. But there's not much I could do about that. So anyway, I was going to try something completely different, and it wound up not working out. I wasn't going to play anything in the beginning, but then last minute, maybe about half an hour before I started, I was just fooling around with the synths, and I was like, okay, I'll make something up real quick. Let's try a deconstruction. So I decided I would do a deconstruction for you guys. But anyway, cameras are all messed up tonight. So I'm going to go back to this one. This is my new cam. Hi. I don't know. I don't know if it's in I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about. Anyway, everything is wrong, because the last time I was in this room, it was set up for a live performance type thing. So camera A, which is that one, is set up too high. So I'm supposed to be like standing right here or something. That's where I was, I think, last time. So thank goodness that I put the, I don't know, this one. We'll stop switching. But yeah, I'm happy that I put this one up tonight, because at least it's at some sort of face level. Although it's in the wrong spot too for kind of doing this thing, which proves I'm not a YouTuber. See, I'm not a YouTuber. Let me try to move. Let's see if this. Oh, yeah, that was good. Okay, we'll try it like this for a while. I can still see the chat and I can still look at the camera, so I think we should be okay. I hope you can hear me. I didn't even check. Uh-oh. So, TMT. All cameras are good, no bad angle. Well, thank you. I actually think one of them's pretty bad. Like, I think this one's pretty bad. It's kind of far. It should be more this way. I don't know. Hold on. There we go. That's better. Much better. Much better. So, anyway, I'm home for the week, and then I'm off again. Sorry, I gotta keep my throat from getting dry. Although, I must say, for all the travel and all the craziness of the last 3 weeks, I'm feeling pretty damn good. I feel healthy. I feel fine. Oh, future synthpop is asking what's in the cup. Actually, it's just iced tea and lemonade. No alcohol for me tonight. I don't think I need it. So I'm going to talk about the shows and all that stuff. And I think I'm going to try to do it in chronological order because it's been such a crazy 3 weeks that honestly, I was looking at the calendar today, probably for the first time in a few days, because you may think that I was able to maintain flights and all that stuff in an easy way, but it wasn't. Not for me. But yeah, it's been kind of crazy. So you can't see it, but well, maybe you can. Hold on. I'm sitting in front of the evidence. This right here is the complete disaster. It's a mess. My bags are still unpacked. I've got cables everywhere. Camera out, which I've been kind of... Anyway, it's been kind of nutty catching back up. So I think this is the first time I've actually had... wow, my cousin Adriana's on board. Hi, Adriana. Hi. It's nice to see you there. That's so cool. My cousin Adriana's here. So yeah, it's been so hard to get back to some sort of normal. So anyway, what I thought I would do, since nothing was planned for tonight, really, like it's not like I had a whole show like figured out and that I would come back from tour and go, yeah, I've got this all handled and I've got all this kind of stuff. No, actually I got nothing. Nothing. Well, if you were following, I did try to do some live streaming while I was on the road and keeping you up to date to where I was or what city I was in and all that good stuff. And it wasn't that easy. But anyway, what I'm going to do is I went back through all the different Quarren streams, when I call them that, and I picked a few gems from each one. They're all going to be weird versions and weird things of things. So some of it's a lot of demos because what I found out on the road is that some people were just starting to discover some of the streams and they were like, did you ever play any old demos and things like that? And I was like, yeah, I've done that. Been there, done that. I think the very first 7 or 8 of them were all old tapes and whatnot. So nothing new there. But for some of those people, I thought I would go back and play some really weird things, like just stuff that's on the tapes, and, So, Wendy says, Claude got us through this crazy quarantine. It was crazy for all of us. So yeah, I don't know that I can take credit for it, but I'm glad that I was able to share it with you guys. Otherwise, I would have gone crazy myself. So anyway, I'm going to play something. So This particular track that I'm going to play is just a really weird song, okay? It's a strange song, and it's from 1988. It was recorded straight to a reel-to-reel, and this was when I was trying out um, sound on sound stuff. This reel-to-reel that I had was able to take a track that you played, then play it back and add it to the next track you were playing. So not quite like a 4-track because you couldn't control the levels and things. It was just like hit or miss. And so you would go back and forth, and that's how you built up something. Nowadays, you would use a looper for that, which was what I was trying to kind of finish before this stream began, but it didn't quite work out. I'm not done with it yet, so I wound up doing the Living in Oblivion impromptu instead. So I'm going to play this song, and then what I'm going to do is we'll come back and we'll start with what happened down the road. And one of you can remind me when that all started, because was it the 15th? Oh, I have my flights. I still have all my flight stuff here. So I can tell you where everything was or wasn't, but oh my God, it was just a crazy. Do I have it? Yeah, I do. Yeah. My journey began November 18th of this last leg. But anyway, I'll play a song, and we'll turn the UFO cam on for that one. This is just called Untitled Idea, 1988. So you walking in the rain, I smiled. I would hope to get your attention, but you turned away. Yes, you walked away. I smile at the inquisition that you made, and I love. So, yeah, sorry for the little interruption. I guess when I went to get this link, it messed up things a little bit. That's not good, but this is I can't help it. The interweb sometime interferes here, so I have nothing that I can. But yeah, so that was from 1988, and I think I'm trying to remember, but I have a feeling that was just a Juno, and my CS1, which is a really tiny little synth. That was kind of cool. I think it was those two going into the reel to reel. But yeah, it's an old one. And I think I played that in like, I don't know, Quarren Stream 8 or something. I don't know. But I thought I would start with that one. Oh, wow. So we're going to go by my itinerary, which it's funny because it says quick tour, but it wasn't that quick actually. Because I was gone basically from the 18th of November till just a few days ago. So yeah, Dallas show was on the 19th, and that was the first one. So unless you saw my post on Twitter or whatever, you can follow along with some pictures, because I thought it would be better to do it that way than to try to like put the pictures up on screen, because there's too much craziness to try to do that right now, and I was just feeling lazy, so I'm not going to do it. So I'll just put the link and you can see the pictures there. But so I don't know if you know this, but every venue that I go to, I try to find something that I'm going to put on stage. And usually that consists of a ladder if I find it, because of course ladders. And most people are like, what does he mean by of course ladders? Well, ladders are kind of a weird visual element in my art. And so I love to have ladders on stage if I can help it. If I had the perfect show, I would have 2 or 3 ladders on stage, and they would be doing all kinds of weird things, like lighting, coming off of them, or who knows, visuals going onto them. When I do a big show, I think I'm going to try to do that. But anyway, it was ladders. So in Dallas, it was at like a Verizon theater, and it was pretty cool. I managed to stream from the theater backstage, so everyone got to see backstage. That was a good show. I played with Flock of Seagulls, Chris Anton, Dramarama. That was like a big 80s thing. And Dallas and Houston were going to be those type of shows, and that's what we did. I say we, but it was just me. Huh. But in Dallas, I saw this couch backstage, and I asked them to put it on stage. And it was funny because they were like, why do you want a couch on stage? And I'm like, what does it matter? You put drums on stage, you put 1,000,000 amps on stage, I want the couch. So because we couldn't find a ladder, I got the couch, and it was fun to have a couch on stage. So I have no pictures of that whatsoever. So if anyone took pictures of the Dallas show and saw the couch, please tag me so I can see those, because I would like to see how that looked. But it was nice. I got flowers that night, which is nice. I've never gotten flowers before, so it was kind of cool. A whole bouquet I wound up with at the end of the night, actually. TMT Mixes asks me, did you sit on the couch during the show? Well, that's funny. The show, I'm going to answer that question, but the show in Dallas and in Houston were short sets. I was only allowed 20 to 25 minutes total. And because the number of bands and the things going on, you can only pick what you're going to pick. So those are like really quick shows, meaning no talking or very little talking. So I don't get to do the whole stories thing like I like to do, and because I really find that enjoyable. So it's kind of, and then thank you. Thank you. And I had to shorten a lot of the songs to their most important parts, which I also don't like doing. Yeah, Wendy says, I wish you could have done Dead Stars. I don't think it would have worked, because I tried shortening it and it just wouldn't work. So I had to basically do, like Vegas says, a 20 minutes of music, 5 minutes of talking, basically. In between song, I tried to talk for at least half a minute if I could, but it didn't work out that way. But anyway, but yeah, he's right. 25-minute rendition of Abox hits. I think it was Kiss of Love, Carmen, and Just One Day mashed up, Jubilation, and Living in Oblivion. That's it. Just those four. Or like, with a little bit of the fifth one in there. So it wasn't easy. A lot of those people don't know who I am. They're looking for the people that usually go to those Lost 80s gigs are what I would consider a radio fan, meaning they only really know the one thing. So in all honesty, I wasn't expecting them to know like anything obscure and, whatever. But it had an effect, and I'll get into that later. But it did have an effect because in shortening the set like that, I wound up like having to like almost second guess myself in the way that I was going to approach the following nights. And so it was a bit tough, but anyway, back to the question. When the couch was put on stage, the first thing I did was I got on stage and I sat on the couch and I said, "Please tell me about your childhood." And I think everyone started laughing, and it was like kind of cool. It was a way to break the ice, but all of it was impromptu. And I wound up like playing the couch, which is kind of funny in a way because I didn't have anything else to hit on stage. But it was good. It was good. I had a lot of fun there. The backstage area is bigger than the stage. It's just humongous, and it was fun. And another really cool thing that happened is I got to see Stacey Q, which I hadn't seen in a long time. So we were just catching up backstage, basically, and that was a lot of fun for me, and very emotional, to be honest. So we were just catching up on life and all kinds of stuff that had happened in our careers and, with management and labels and things of that nature. And it was kind of fun. That was, yeah, tell me about your mother, Claudia says. Exactly. So that was a big highlight of Dallas for sure. That was a big deal. And of course, hanging out with Chris and his wife, Donna. I mean, like, that is awesome. It's always awesome to see them. So the meeting of the friends backstage was probably more emotional for me than the show itself. But the show is fast, so that's the sad thing. It starts and then it ends, and before you know it, all the buildup of the entire day and getting ready and all that stuff for those just 20 minutes, it's like, man, it's an emotional. You get really high and then really low really fast. So, that was a problem. So if you watched my Instagram, you know that I was streaming the backstage area, and I meant to stream the entire show. And what happened was my phone ran out of battery. And subsequently, when I left Dallas to go to Houston, I lost my charger. So for 2 days, or was it 3? Till the 20th, I was without a charger. So I couldn't do any backstage streaming or anything like that. It was really hard too. It was so dumb because I wound up staying in a hotel that was near nothing, and I couldn't find like a charger to save my life. So I wasn't able to call friends or do anything like that until, later on in the evening. But, there's a story there too, but, we'll kind of get into that. Yeah. It's the funniest thing to lose a charger, right? Third world problem, first world problem. I don't know. It's just funny. It's funny when you lose something so dumb that you need, and then you realize you think it's something you can get anywhere, and then suddenly you find yourself unable to get one. And it's like, what? I have no charger? What? Anyway, it was funny. It was one of the funniest things ever. And then to add insult to injury, I couldn't get online when I first arrived in Houston. So it was a big big emergency because apparently people were trying to reach me. Anyway, it was a big deal. So we come to Houston, which I think there was like almost no pictures of Houston because I was so nervous that by the time that I got on, I forgot to turn. I'm looking at the wrong camera here. By the time I got to Houston, I forgot to turn on this camera. Without this camera, I get no shots. So I forgot to turn this camera on. Jesse asks, "Hi from Chicago. You are speaking about your hotel. You kept speaking about your hotel in Chicago. What was the name of the hotel?" Ooh, the Claridge House. I love staying there. I could have stayed there for a whole week. Honestly, I could have. There was a lot of reasons why I wanted to because it was conducive to creativity. I just wanted to stay there just to write music. But unfortunately, that was not to be. Although I did get to spend one whole day in that hotel. But I'll tell you what I did find in Houston and Dallas that was very interesting for you Texanites. Can you see it? You know what that is. So I brought back number 54. I'm going to keep it in my collection. I think I have 64 and 80 now. So yeah, that was a staple while I was in Texas. It sustained me just fine. Oh, you could see it? Huh. It must have been from the overhead cam. Of course. We'll have to keep that on so people can see it. That's funny. So now, of course, anyway. So yeah, that was fun. And then we flew out. Well, when we got to Houston, we were trying to figure out how I was going to do a 20-minute set on a rotating stage. I'm not afraid of heights, mostly, but I can get vertigo. So I thought that was kind of funny. Interesting side note here. There have been times when I'm on stage and I kind of teeter-totter, and then people ask me later when I'm off stage, "Hey, were you kind of like, hitting the bottle or something? Or were you drunk?" And I'm like, "No." And they're like, "Well, you kind of look like you were like teeter-tottering a little bit." And I'm like, I lose my balance. I tend to have this problem sometimes where if I jump around and do stuff, I will feel some vertigo, and it's like, I'll do this, So imagine having that problem, but on a rotating stage for 20 minutes. And you kind of get the idea of what Houston was like. But it was fun. That was a fun show. And I got to play a little more, I think, than I did in Dallas. Even though the songs were the same, I got to do a little bit of Carmen. And kind of like an impromptu version of Carmen. And I got to do that in Houston, which was kind of cool. So anyway. Okay. I'm going to play a song because I'm feeling like I have to play a song or something. So I'm going to play a song from one of those old tapes. So Wendy asked, "Did you get to see Robert when you were there?" Yes, I'm going to tell that story when I come back. So, back to Overhead, and I'm going to play a song from a cassette, which I played on the very, very first or second Quarren Stream, when they were called Quarren Streams. And it's called The Restless Girl. And this is from a cassette, so excuse the... Here we go. So, oops, wrong direction. Funny. I have to fix my camera thing. Oh, that'll be for the next one. That was the Restless Girl. And that one is from 1990, actually. That was right as we moved to California. So 89, 90. And that was recorded in the apartment. And straight to cassette, right off the... I think that was one of the first songs I sequenced with the MPC. So that's like, yeah, an MPC 60, all that kind of stuff. So I got a couple questions, and so I'm going to answer some of those. So in Houston, when I was playing in Houston, the lack of having a charger and all that was very nerve-wracking, because right after the show in Houston, my plan was we were going to get into an Uber and go straight to Etro and hang out with Robert. And I was going to see Robert there because it was his birthday. He was DJing. It was like a after party. So the after party for Houston, impromptu, really, unannounced, wound up being at Etro, and we stayed there until closing. So Houston was actually quite a long night. So yeah, it was happy birthday, Robert. And so we went down there, and I loved being down there. The new Etro is really nice. I like it a lot. It was fantastic hanging out. People thought I was DJing, but I wasn't. I was just in the DJ booth, just enjoying myself. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. Which obviously was nice to see Robert, but it's always so fleeting, because I always tell Robert, I wish we just had more time. I have to come back to Houston just to hang out with you and us do meetings and things of that nature. Here I am saying it publicly, because we never have time to discuss what's next, what's the next, and all that. It's hard. And we were trying to do that in Houston. It was almost impossible, but we did manage to get together the next day and at least have lunch, which was a lot of fun. And he can attest to the fact that my hotel was literally next to nothing. There was nothing near there except one restaurant, which was really good, by the way. But I think it was called Bomb Shelter, right? Is that right? Bomb Shelter? I don't know. But it was a nice restaurant. So I wound up eating there, but there was nothing I could walk to that I could find a charger. So then I wound up taking an Uber to the Galleria, and that's where we actually found a charger and everything. So it took 3.5 days to get a charger on my phone, which is funny. Bombshells. Yes, that's what it was. Very good restaurant. Met the owner. He was very nice to me the first night, and we were just chatting away. So it was really nice. So, so that was a nice thing. So Carlos on YouTube asked me, and now I'll have to scroll up to find that question, because I didn't write the entire question. Okay, let's see if I can find it. No. Oh. He says, Carlos, "Hi, Claude. Question. You mentioned that the real Carmen recently passed away. Who was she, and what was your connection to her?" Basically family. I considered her part of my family. And the big deal was that we lived in her house. And we lived on the third floor. And I used to practice. This is where anythingbox practiced. It was a big room called the music room. That's where our studio was. And the cool thing, one of the really nice things about Carmen was that she never once complained that the music was too loud or can you turn that down. She kind of left it open. So, and I was pretty loud. And I even painted the floors. And even that she didn't complain about. And it wasn't because I was pushing the limit. It's just I was being creative. She knew it and she kind of rolled with it. So that was one thing that was really, 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 I can't believe that she was that generous. And of course, some of the stories that she told. So yeah, obviously it was a big deal kind of to me when she passed. So I had nothing but fond memories. Other people could say otherwise, but I had nothing but fond memories of the woman. So yeah, that was sad. And she passed literally just a few weeks before we went off. I went off to, touring. So it was a bit weird having that song around. Every time I would play it recently when I was rehearsing, it was kind of like a little difficult. It got easier this time when I went out, but but yeah, she was. Vega says 3 days to get a charger. And Wendy says the Galleria. No, the charger, now going back to like more happy things. The charger wound up costing me $10 and I still have it. It's fantastic. So, and now I have extra cables. I have an extra charger so that can't happen again. I need to have extra cables for everything. That's what that taught me. You would think I would know this by now, and I usually do carry more than one charger, but as it turned out, I only had one. So now I carry 2 and 3 extra cables that at least I can connect to the computer so the computer can charge my phone. I didn't even have that. Not even a cable. But anyway, I digress. So the schedule, if you want to know, was kind of funny because we went from Dallas to Houston, out to Chicago, and then after Chicago, back to El Paso. So the flying really messed with my, what do they call that? My circadian rhythm? Is that what it's called? Circadian. I don't know. It's that word. My sleep was fucked up. That's what it means. My sleep got completely messed up. So yeah, it was a bit weird getting good sleep, and getting good sleep for me is really important. Not just because obviously then you're going to sing. It's important because if I don't get good sleep, it usually will lead me to a migraine, and that was something that I have to avoid on the road at all costs. So I stick to certain foods. I only stick to certain things, So like, someone will tell me like, oh, I know this amazing Chinese restaurant. I know you like Chinese food. And I'm like, I do, but I can't do Chinese food while I'm on tour because I don't know if there's going to be MSG in it. I don't know if it's going to happen. So I avoid certain foods, certain things, and lack of sleep is not good for me. So I was worried that I might get a migraine, but miraculously, it didn't happen until after all the shows were done. And then I got a whopper of one, but we'll get to that story later. But anyway, yeah, wine and migraines do not go well. So I love wine, but I can't really do it because whenever I drink wine, I'm skirting that danger again of, so there's no wine in here. It's just lemonade. Circadian rhythm. That's funny, Konstantinos. Circadian rhythm is a bit different, right? Just take a gummy, he says. I wish it was that simple, but you can't just travel with those things. That could cause trouble too. So you don't want to mess with that. Especially, which is, it leads me into a very interesting part of my journey that is worth telling to you guys. Hold on, I'm going to change this mic position so I can just sit back. Yeah, there we go. Oh, I can sit back and enjoy it. This is not a very good chair. I'm gonna have to get a different one. But anyway, I digress. Traveling uh, is not my favorite thing to do. So I love going to do shows, obviously, but getting on planes and sitting in a chair like all scrunched up for a couple hours at a time is not fun for me. I have a broken tailbone. Yeah, I do. I have a broken tailbone, which means that I have to sit in a certain way or it starts to hurt, which is kind of crappy if you're on a 7-hour flight. So that messed with me big time. Um, I would have liked a gummy on the plane, actually. I'm going to see if I can smuggle them. But anyway, you didn't hear that from me. But anyway. Oh my God. So anyway, so after Houston and Robert's party and lunch and all that, I was off to Chicagoland, and I got to Chicago a day early, thank God. And the Claridge House Hotel was like, oh, rest, relaxation. Wow, what a beautiful place. What a nice neighborhood. So I was able to take in the neighborhood, walk around, and I got rejuvenated just like that when I was in Chicago, which was fantastic, which made things a lot easier for the show, because the show kind of was going to be late the next night. I knew that going in, but, it's not as easy to do late night shows anymore. I don't like doing that either, by the way. Late night shows kind of, so anyway, but Chicago was amazing. It was awesome. I was able to procure a ladder. And I was able to do something really cool. Well, it's interesting. I You're showing your age if you can't do late night shows. Nah, I don't think anyone likes doing them. I don't think I liked doing them when I was 20 either. It was a pain in the butt. Okay, so let me explain the late night show thing. If you do a show at, let's just say midnight, and you play for almost 2 hours, that means that show's over at 2. Usually at 2, the bar closes. So you take the advantage to meet people and, hang out with fans and things like that until possibly 2:30, which means you're not tearing down till about 3. Which means you're not getting back to go or get any kind of sleep until about 4:30. And so, yeah, Chicago, I got to sleep about 4:30-ish. And that sucked because if you get back to the hotel at 4:30, nothing is really open. You're hungry. You're going to have to wait till the next day to eat. And you have all this weird energy from being on a show. So it is hard to do late night shows. Whereas if you go on at 8, let's say, you could theoretically be back at the hotel by 12 or 1 and still go out and, eat something with the promoter and friends and fans even and meet people. So that's my reason, not because I get tired. I have energy to stay up until 6 in the morning if I have to, but it's just the timing of things gets hard, and you got to kind of deal with that. So anyway, so that was hard. So one of the things that I noticed that happened though, when I was in Chicago was I had certain songs that I was going to play and I didn't play them. And I felt like it was my fault, that I kind of skewed things in a certain direction during the set and then I wasn't able to come back. So a lot of songs didn't get done in Chicago that I would have liked to. They were on the set, so I didn't get to do Dead Stars. I didn't get to do Hello, which I really wanted to do. And I didn't get to do this song that I'm going to play next, which was on my list, but it just didn't happen. So I'm going to play one of the songs that I didn't get to do in Chicago. Actually, I'm going to play two of them. And one of them, anyway, it gave me an incredible idea, and then I had to like figure out how to do it, and I don't know how I pulled it off, but I did it. So anyway, I'm going to play a song now. Hello, let's play a song. So this is a song that I would have liked to have played in Chicago, but I didn't.
I heard from the station you're leaving tonight. I knew it would happen someday. Still I feel so numbed. You're going home. The earth seems beautiful, somehow lonely too. Now that we are here, I want time with you. Can't face the night. You're going home. Turn away, walk away, just please don't face me now. Can't you see there'll be tears just covering my frown? This emptiness is clear. You're going home. Can it be that I loved you always far too long? Could it be the great distance that will keep us cold? Can it be that I'll call your name? You're going home. 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 When I'm floating still, I'll think of your face. And when it rains, I'll be quite the same. My heart won't rest. I've been undone. Can it be that I loved you always far too long? Could it be the great distance that will keep us cold? Can it be that I'll call your name? You're going home. You're going home. You're going home. You're going home. You're going home.
We hope you've been enjoying tonight's
So,
featured group,
ooh, I
Abox.
forgot about the
On
sample.
Lonely Hour with the Doctor.
Aw,
Thank you and
Brooks.
good night.
I miss you, Brooks. So that was one of the ones that I wanted to play, and I didn't get to do it. And there was a couple others that it's like a little micro set. You know, I kind of plan things in sort of micro sets, but it's sort of like you have to imagine that there's like a fork in the road. If I go in this direction, you know, it means that certain songs from the A set will not probably get done. And so, you know, it's a little more complex than that because it's actually there's four ways that things can go. And so it's never easy to like last minute pick something, but you kind of get the gist of how, you know, the crowd's asking for a song a lot. And then you're like, okay, if I do this next song, that's leading me to set C. That means that from that song, I'm going to go that way. And so that's kind of what happened. But it was kind of cool because they wanted to hear Carmen in Spanish, and I was not prepared for that at all. Completely unprepared. Number one, never expected anyone was going to really request it. Like, obviously, if one person says it, it's not a big deal. But when the crowd starts to chant it, and when you start to when you can tell that it's an overwhelming majority wanting a particular song, and you're like, uh-oh, I did not plan for this. What do you do? So I did it impromptu. I did about a verse of it, a verse and a chorus in Spanish, because all I could remember. I haven't practiced it in Spanish at all. Like, at all. So trying to remember the words while you're nervous and you're on stage and it's been asked of you and you didn't rehearse it, man, that is a scary moment on stage. So, but we got through it and it was really cool, and it wound up working really well, which meant we went down path C, which meant a whole different set of songs got played off of that path because they kind of fit together better. And so from there, it kind of diverged. And so I didn't get to play this particular song, which would have been nice. Let's see, what else do I see here? That's like interesting questions. Zach, will you ever do a show in San Diego? I would love to play San Diego. Are you kidding? So here's a question that I get asked a lot. Why don't you play City X, City B, City C? Like, why don't you come here? I just said CDC. Yeah, I would play the CDC. I bet you that show would go over really well. But obviously, like, there's no city that's off limits to me. It's the coordination of venues. It's based on I don't find the shows, so I don't go out and try to figure that out. So where the demand is, that's where I go. So when people ask me would you go to, Boise, Idaho or something, I'm like, yeah, I would go anywhere. The weirder the city, the more obscure it is, the better for me. So I still haven't been to Alaska. I would love to play Alaska. I still haven't been there once. And I know I have fans there because I have spoken to them. So at least, I know that. So yeah, I would love to play San Diego. Are you kidding me? It would be so easy because it's not far from me. For that matter, someone keeps asking me, why not Los Angeles? Well, Los Angeles has stupid rules right now, so I couldn't probably play Los Angeles because of mandate stuff. So I don't think I would. And I'm quite okay with that, to be honest. But I would do it. It's just, it gets hard. It gets hard to juggle all that stuff. So I'm not going to bother with that stuff. If it gets too stupid, I won't go. Steven says, a good friend of mine was a big fan of yours and he brought me to one of your shows around the time that you released Hope. We saw you at Lush in Santa Monica and I was hooked. I ended up going to see you again in Pomona and Orange County in the years after. Cool, Pomona. That was a cool show. I don't know where you saw us in Orange County, but the Pomona show would have been, oh gosh, what's the name of that venue? But it's a cool venue. It's a punk rock venue. And the Pomona shows, we did 2. Those are really good. I don't remember Lush. At Lush. Huh. I got to think about that. But that's cool. Chiquis Frosto says, when are you going to sing songs from the diary? Those are harder. I don't know. I thought about doing diary songs. More likely, they're likely to happen on the stream than they are on a real show because most people don't know that stuff. So I don't think I would. But one never knows. One never knows. So Steve Baldo, hi Steve. I'm glad you're on the show tonight. Said you hit up Whataburger, but did you get pizza on the road and any good foodie experiences? Absolutely. So story that I forgot here. This is how I get reminded of things that happened on the road. So 2 friends of mine who who are just, it's messed up because they're going to like, yeah, now you're talking about it. But two really nice friends of mine who were at the show in Dallas the night before when I first arrived in Dallas. I had dinner with them at Papadou, which is a seafood restaurant. It's a seafood chain in Texas. And it's a really good restaurant. I really like it. I know that some people might say, well, it's a chain, but it was it's a really good chain. And I really enjoy their food. So that was really good. That was one foodie moment. And I wound up having Papadou again in Houston when I was in the airport and I had 3 hours to kill. Which is another cool thing. If I'm in the airport and I have 3 hours to kill, I'm gonna have a darn good meal. So I kind of make sure of what nice restaurant I might want to try. So I had Papadou by myself though, but in Houston, and with my couple, a couple friend of mine from Dallas. I had Papadou with them, Lena and Tim. If you're watching or listening, hi. And that was really nice. And obviously, yeah, I try to eat better, but it's not just because I want to try fancy places. It's just I try to eat better food if I'm on the road. But if not, I have to stick to the staple foods because it's gun and run when you're on the road. You have to eat what you can eat. And sometimes you're really on the run. But I will say this, because it should be mentioned, that backstage at both Dallas and Houston, they were custom catered from some barbecue joint in each city. And both of those were really amazing. So I actually had really good food on the Lost 80s stuff. So I'm not going to say I didn't have good food. It was amazing food. We all had it. We all know. There was home baked pies and, all kinds of stuff. I tended to avoid pizza until I got to Chicago, and I did have Chicago pizza. It was at a restaurant that was across the street from the Claridge House. I think it was called Mario's. And I had pizza there, which was quite good, but their pasta was off the hook. I had their pasta, and it was really, really good. So I had good food while I was on the road. I ate rather well. That sounded so foofy. What I mean by that is I tended to eat at the right time. So I found myself feeling healthy. So it wasn't like those crazy, like 4 a.m. kind of foods, because that's really bad for you. But I got lucky, I guess. So after Chicago, the next day I had to leave for El Paso. And I have to say, out of all the shows, the El Paso and Chicago stand out because, man, those people are so loud and they sing at the top of their lungs and they're not afraid to jump around. And so you really get this sense of energy. So for me, those were my, if I have to assign the word, that word favorite, I would say that Chicago and El Paso are kind of toe to toe in some ways. But they each had something that was a little bit different, but El Paso was interesting. So when I arrived in El Paso, I got to hang out with Joe from Club 101, which good friend of mine. And I still owe you some stuff, Joe. I started to talk to Joe about crypto in the car, which was kind of funny. And we got into a whole conversation about crypto, which is hilarious because he wasn't really into it. But I think by the time I left, he's like, you need to send me this information. So I'm going to send him information on crypto, which currently is taking a bloodbath, but that's okay. It's just how it goes. But no, Chicago was fantastic. Food was great. People were awesome. It was good. It was really, really good. A little tiring because of that time difference. And getting back to the hotel, like, I don't know, I think it was, like I said, 4:30 in the morning when I got back. So that was tough, but I slept well and I really loved that hotel. I wish I could have stayed there for 3 or 4 more days. And this was a cool thing that happened. Um, there was a couple in the front row that were wearing Anything Box t-shirts and that were there from the last time I was there, which was in 2019. And they were in the front. And I wanted to talk to them after the show, but it just wasn't possible. Restrictions with the venue about like too many people, you can't go down there and just hang out because too many people together. And so we're still not back to normal, basically, in certain places. So that couldn't happen. But I was so pleasantly surprised to find out that they were staying at the same hotel. So the next day, as I was checking out, they were also checking out. I recognized them, of course. We took some pictures and we got to talk. So that was kind of cool. I love when things like that happen. So it was like, yeah, I got to see them. So that was fun. And then, flying again. Flying to El Paso. Oh, gosh. Talk about flying to El Paso. So anyway, arrived safe. Everything was fine. This weird feeling came over me, and I don't know why, but we went to sound check. I sound checked with a song from 19 that I wound up not playing that night. I actually played The Pain I Inherited during sound check at the Rock House, and it was really cool. And I loved the sound that I could hear that the sound for the night was going to be fantastic. So that was a big deal. That brings up another interesting thing I want to talk to you guys about. So there are certain things that I can never control, right? So I can't control how good a sound system is going to be from venue to venue. So I can never control the consistency of that kind of stuff. Nobody can, unless you're traveling with the same exact sound company on the road. You're kind of at the mercy of the venues. So when I got to El Paso, I was really blown away by the sound system and by the engineer at the El Paso gig. And it was cool because that gig I was going to play with Channel 69, which were great, by the way, and JG and the Robots, which Jay was fantastic, by the way. I think he was really, really effing good. So what was really, really cool about that was that I knew in soundcheck how the sound was going to be. And I wanted to do Hypocrites. I knew that I was going to do it. So I thought, okay, let's pull it up in Ableton. Let's see, it's not on the computer. So I went back to the hotel. I searched through all my SD cards for the stems. They're not there. And it's funny, I had to phone home and have my poor girlfriend search through studio folders on the studio and drag stems into a Google Drive so that I could access them in El Paso. And this is between soundcheck and showtime. So I want you to understand that that's not a very long timeline to get something straight, right? So I'm trying to get all these parts, and basically I was able to assemble the song in my hotel room, right? Which was awesome. And play the song that night. And what was really cool is it went without a hitch. I didn't forget any of the words. All my cues were right. Everything was perfect. I don't know how I pulled it off, but it worked. And so that was really cool. So El Paso was off the hook. You can see the pictures if you go to that link that I posted earlier. If not, it'll show up in the description of the video when this is published sometime tomorrow. I'll put the link in there and you guys can see pictures, of course. But yeah, the pictures of that event. Sorry, this mic is bugging me now. Uh-oh. No. Sorry. Professional here. Don't try this at home. There we go. Nice and quiet now. Keeps trying to record my headphone. I hear feedback. I don't like that. I don't like feedback. But yeah, no, the show in El Paso was fantastic, man. Those people were jumping, yelling, screaming, asking for songs. So I wound up doing 2 songs that were not on the set at all. I wound up doing Hypocrites, which was not on the set, not rehearsed. And I Felt the Pain, which was not on the set, not rehearsed. And I think I even did, I can't remember now. I should have written down the set, but I think I did a moment shifting too. But if I didn't, I did it the next night because that's kind of a secret here. But I had 2 shows in El Paso. One was Publicized, which was the show at the Rock House. And the next day, I had a private party. I had never in my life done a private party. And so I had no idea what to expect. It could have been 3 people in a sound system just staring at me. But it wasn't. It was a very beautiful house. It was a dream house, to be honest. When I was in this house, I literally thought, this is the house I want. I want this house. And it had one of the coolest video systems I've ever seen. They literally had... Sorry, I almost spilled my drink on my equipment. Yet again. They had video screens that literally lined the walls. And behind me, there was 4 video screens, but they were placed as though they were just mirrors just hanging out. And all of it was synchronized to the graphics that I gave them, which was fantastic. The floor was lit. They had a lit floor. And the floor had its own light show going on. This was like a house with like a mini club inside it. And this is like what I want to stream from. This is like my dream. My dream stream house would be like this, where I would just throw a concert from my house and that it would be like this technical and this crazy, multiple cameras and all that stuff. It was just like that. And what was really interesting, and this is going to be hard to believe, but no one that was at that party was at the show the night prior. This was a completely different set of people, and yet they were all fans. A lot of them were from across the border and were Mexican and didn't speak a lick of English, a lot of them. And the hosts were very gracious to show me their house and to, I was treated really, really well. And they got to show me around El Paso, which I really, really, really needed to see it from different perspectives because, I've been thinking about moving and, trying to pick a place. And so I found a little neighborhood. And I found an area, or a couple areas, I should say. And I don't want to sound like I'm being snooty. These weren't like, it wasn't snooty. It was just really, really well thought out. And I started to look around at real estate, and I had an extra day there. So that was fantastic to look around El Paso at real estate. So who knows? Who knows, man? Ha! Iris says Claude played for the Illuminati or the cartel. I can't speak to the second thing, but as for the first, who knows? No, they were really nice people, and it was nothing like that. I think both of them were professionals. I know what they did for a living. I don't want to reveal that because I don't want to talk about other people's private life. But both of them were professionals, and one of them was actually in a band called X21 and was in the band when we played in Juarez, Mexico, in front of like 12,000 people. And he was in the band that opened for us. So it was kind of like a really intense rewind, to be honest. And they have their own band and they play just for friends. And I got to watch them play, and they were really good, actually. And they had recorded their own song, a single they were working on. It was really good. So there's no real name for the band yet that I can't remember at the moment. So that's going to be unforgivable crime, but I can't remember what they called themselves. But they're working on a single and they're going to release it. And so, yeah, I was very impressed by that. But the houses, oh my God, that house, it haunts me. Yes, Konstantinos, sort of like that house, except for the costumes. But it was really awesome, and they were really nice people, and everyone there was nice, and there was a lot of family, so there was, people with their kids, and, it was just very interesting. Very respectful, and it was a nice set. I got to do, of all things, I did Dead Stars there, and the host of the house happened to have an electronic drum kit in a studio next to where I played, next to the room, and I asked him if I could use it, and we mic'd it up, and it was set up to sound like a Simmons kit, and it was really cool to have that on stage with me, and I played that too, which was kind of cool. Although I have no pictures of this, so I will have to have him. I'll have to hit him up and see if there's any pictures of me playing that kit. But it was cool having an electronic kit on stage with me, and that I could go from, Ableton, my pads, kit. It worked. But it was really cool. And yeah, you see how and this is all within 3-week period. So I'm only on 4 shows, and you see all this time would be passing between flights and staying and moving and all that stuff. Anyway, I'm going to play a song now. This is a song that I wanted to play in El Paso, but I didn't get to play it. Again, set diverted into a different direction, so this song automatically got taken off the set. It's the rule. If 2 things are too close together in whatever the mood is, I kind of move on, right? So this is one of the songs that I didn't get to play in El Paso. I'm going to play that next. And you guys can just watch my overhead. And it is this song.
Blue little rose, you are crying.
Oh my God, Ira, thank you for that super sticker or whatever they're called. Thank you. I can only see it when it tells me that I got them, but I just don't know. Like, it's funny. It says pair character dancing under a rain of confetti and taking his hat off to say, "You are amazing." Well, thank you for that. So Oscar just posted the link. Hold on, let me put it here so that it winds up on the chat everywhere. That's the link to the tickets for El Centro, which is coming right up. I'll post more about that stuff tomorrow for sure. That's the next one, and is the end of all the shows that I have for 2021 ends at El Centro, California, which is pretty amazing. But the tour wasn't over there. Wasn't over with El Paso. From El Paso, I came home for literally 2 days. I was home long enough, which is really weird. I'm going to tell you something about that too. Interesting fun fact. I'm glad that I got to come home because by the time that I came back for those 2 days, I really had to wash all my clothes, including the stage clothes. So I had to do laundry, which is really not like a non-glamorous thing to do, but you have to do it. So you either get to do it on the road, which I've done it in hotels and stuff, but it's not as easy. It's better to do it at home, right? So I was lucky. I came home, unpacked everything, repacked everything after I did laundry. And then basically, I got to spend 1 day at home, and then I had to fly out again to Brownsville. But what was interesting about that was it was going to be a long flight because there was no direct flight to Brownsville. So you have to go to Harlingen first. You do a layover, and then you fly in. You fly into Harlingen, basically from Long Beach. Wendy asks, Claude, was your luggage on stage in Houston? If you saw my little endpop symbol signature / thing, then yes. If you saw it, that was mine. The big giant bag, which we call the body. And usually it flies with all my, with the keyboard stand, and all my clothes are in there. And then the bag that's behind me, which you can't really see, but we'll see. Yeah. No, you can't. You can't see it. That one right there. That one has all the electronics in it, and basically all the cabling. So the worst that could happen, that one doesn't get checked. It goes with me no matter what. It goes with me. So if, for example, I arrive at a city and all my clothes are missing and the stand is missing and the lights and, all the other doodads are missing, I can still do the show because the computer and my, my pads and my synth and most of my cabling and all that stuff and, the hat with the star on it and all that, that's with me. So unless I don't show up with that bag, at least there's a show. So thankfully, nothing ever gets really lost. I haven't had a problem, which is gotta knock on wood there, but the big bag is really big. You'll have to post it if you think it was my bag, and I'll tell you. But the body is a really long, big bag, and the owner of the Kraken Lounge in Brownsville thought it was funny that I called it the body until he saw it. Then he was like, "Oh, now I understand why you call it the body. It literally looks like a body bag. It looks like I stuffed 2 humans into some bag and tied them up. It's a big, big bag." No, then it wasn't mine. 'Cause by then I was using a little purple one, and that one died. So I had to switch bags, by the way, by the time I went to Brownsville. One of my bags actually broke on the way back home from El Paso. a little bag we used to call Purple Rain has moved on. That bag has moved on. Also, it was the purple one. I must have left it on stage. Yeah, Purple Rain broke after that show, and I had to kind of hold it together. And I got a new one when I got back. So that was kind of fun. But Brownsville was interesting because, well, two things. Number one, I had no idea that the show was going to be outside and that the street was going to be closed off. So that was new to me. Like the minute I got there, that's when I really found out. And not that it's a bad thing. In fact, it's kind of cool because it was so different. It was almost like playing a mini festival. And, you know, you could say a lot of things about it, like sleepy town, small town, whatever. It goes back to my original question that I was asked. Would you play here or there? I'll go anywhere. And I loved being there. I enjoyed it quite a bit. So much that I went walking around the city pretty much by myself with a camera and just taking pictures of things. And I quite enjoyed it. So that was fun. And then show was good. No incidents. Everything was fine, except for when I got off stage, I forgot to grab my camera. And this happened. I'll just show you. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, right here.
Yeah, say, I don't know whose camera this is, but me and my homeboy were putting it away, so we're gonna put it in the corner. We don't steal shit. We just put stuff in the corner. Just let you know, but you watch this what we have.
So this camera, I have whiplash. I actually have whiplash, so I can't turn a certain direction. Yeah, that too. So this camera, this little guy, I usually mount it behind me at some point. And it was mounted behind the ladder that was on stage with me in Brownsville. And normally as I walk off stage, I'll have told someone, by the way, when I walk off stage, grab that little camera. It's going to be here. Just go grab that and just bring it to me. And that didn't happen. And then I was like worried, where's the camera? And then I looked on stage and I couldn't see it because they had put it in the corner, obviously. And the thing was still recording, which was really funny. So as you can see, sound guys were awesome and they just kept the camera for me. So I didn't lose it, thank God. And that ladder, by the way, was by far one of the coolest because on that show, I got to move the mic into where the ladder was. And I basically mic'd up the ladder. I was able to touch the mic to the ladder so that when I played the ladder and actually played it as an instrument, it sounded awesome. You could hear it like echoing out into the street. So that was kind of cool. I really enjoyed it. Oh, Pablo Chinito is here. Oh my God, Pablo, I got to tell you this just because, okay, so Paul's on the stream. He's on Facebook right now. He says that open stage reminds me of when we played Corpus Christi way back when. It so does. It so did. Although it wasn't as crazy as that stage. But I got to tell you this. So as I was walking around, you'll appreciate this one, Pablo. So as I was walking around Brownsville, there was a store called Los Chinitos. I'm not kidding. It was called Los Chinitos. And I thought, oh my God, that's so wrong. And then I went in there and everyone in the place was Korean. So it was their store. So I was like, oh my God. So I don't know what to tell you about that. But it was literally called Los Chinitos. And it was right outside it was painted really big right outside the store. And so I thought, oh my God, I got to see who owns this place. And it was a bunch of Korean dudes. So I don't know. Oh my God, that was funny. So it just goes to show that you can take certain things lightly. That's all I'm going to say. You can take certain things lightly that normally would not be taken lightly. So anyway, it was funny. I thought it was hilarious. So anyway, I went in there and I wound up shopping around and buying things, which wound up being used for the show. I was able to stream the show to Instagram, but I wasn't able to save it because I left the phone on stage and it was running and it ran out of battery. So by the time the phone came back, I was not able to save the stupid video from Instagram. So that sucked. So anyone who watched it, that was cool if you got to see it. If not, sorry, I couldn't save it. It was just one of those things, I couldn't help it. So I'm going to play another song. And, we're winding down. But anyway, I want to play this song because this is a song that sometimes I get requests for, but it's one that I don't like to play too much. And it's not because I don't like the song. It's because this song is really hard to sing. So the problem with songs that are really hard to sing, which is like, why did you write it in the first place? I don't know. Which, by the way, sorry, I got to tell this to Paul because he's on the stream. I just want you to know, I played Lady in Waiting in Chicago, El Paso twice, and at Brownsville. I played Lady in Waiting all those times. 5 times, actually, because I did El Paso twice. So I did it. I was in the mood, and it just fit like so well, and I just wanted to do it. And we told the story, or I told the story of how you thought it meant like a girl waiting for the guy to come home from the war or something. And it turned out to be that, you didn't really know that it was about a chick being pregnant and how we kind of let you, had to let you know about that. I don't know if you remember, but that's how I remember it, that we didn't tell you until it was like after a while. But yeah, you did write an amazing song, man, and I was really happy to play it live. And I don't know, I really enjoyed that one for some reason. And once I did it once, I had to do it for the rest of the tour. So I actually did that one. But here's a song this is the demo or the first recording of said song. And this song sometimes gets requested, but I don't like playing it because it's a difficult one to sing. And if you put it early in the set, I can probably sing it, but early in the set, it kind of has no real place. So, and towards the end is where you would do it. And then by then my voice would be shot. So this one kind of gets thrown out of the set all the time. So I'm going to play that demo and then I'll come back. It is this demo, the very first recording of said song.
I hear a sound in the corridor, a screaming child I can't ignore. Goes on and on and on. I press my ears. I can't make it go away. Do we understand that this is life?
That demo is from 1989. No, no. I'm lying. It would have been 91 because it was a Worth demo. And that was way after. Yeah. So 91. That would have been 91. Yeah. So Steve Baldo is asking me if I've seen Get Back yet. And as a Beatles fan, it's a must. I have to see it. Full disclosure, I've seen snippets of it, and I actually have somewhere in my vast library of DVDs, I have a bootleg of the Let It Be film. So obviously there's a divergence between the two things. And what's interesting to me is that it's funny how based on an edit or based on what you choose to show in footage, I'm going to sneeze. Because that's what happens when you sneeze. That's a real sneeze, folks. Oh my God. Only I would do that. Sneeze like that. Live. Anyway, thank you. Oh my God, yeah. But I haven't seen Get Back yet, but I'm definitely going to watch it at some point. I want to have real time to watch it. I don't want to do it on the run. I almost did it on the road, but I held back. I'm like, I'm not going to do it until I have some time. So probably between the El Centro show and after I come back from El Centro, I'm probably going to, hey, don't talk about that creature that might still be in my room. Now you have me looking for it. The Claude sneeze. Oh my God. You know what it is when I reach down, there's dust here because I haven't been here for like 3 weeks. So I have to dust this place. Oh my God. That'll happen tomorrow. But, yeah, I want to watch it. I want to watch it really badly. The Get Back documentary. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. They're doing it as a 6-hour thing, right? So it's like in parts. Is it like one every week? Is it the whole thing in 6 hours? How are they doing it? Because I haven't really looked into it. Other than I know it's on Disney Plus or something, right? So I have to do that for like a month. I'm going to get Disney Plus just to watch that show and then cancel. Because I'm not a Disney Plus fan, but oh wow, all 3 parts are out. Cool. I'm gonna definitely look into watching it. I really want to. So it's a big deal. It's a big deal to me. I get really emotional watching all the old Beatles stuff. So to me, it's gonna be a big deal. So anyway, no, I haven't watched it yet. I've only seen the trailers, and the trailers already got me all like fanboyed out. So I'm definitely going to watch it. But that's that. So the other thing that I did when I was in Brownsville, to get back to Brownsville now, is the owner of Brownsville. His name is Daniel. He's a really nice guy. But first of all, everyone in Brownsville, everyone that I worked with on this last tour, all the management, all the people that put it together, all the different people that drove me around, all these people were fantastic. I was blessed to have such good people to work with this entire tour. Brownsville was no exception. The staff of the Kraken Lounge was really nice. And the owner in particular was funny because I didn't know that Starbase, Elon Musk Starbase, was in Brownsville. I actually had no idea that it was there. Had I known that ahead of time, I think I would have stayed an extra 2 days just to hang out more, to take more pictures of it. But as it stood, my flight left the next day, literally just a few hours after checkout time at the hotel. So his suggestion was, why don't we go after the show? We'll drive up to, Starbase. And I was like, after the show? He goes, yeah. And see, here goes back to that earlier comment about late night shows. Because this show was not that late, all the packing up and getting everything done was done by about 1:30, maybe 2, pushing it towards 2. But we got to go out there at around 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning, and I got to take pictures. And I was there, like really close, really, really close to some of the rockets. It's just amazing. So we were driving around. I don't know if you guys noticed this, but I put Elon on my guest list for Brownsville. He didn't show up, or if he did, I didn't see him. But Elon, you can come next time. Seriously, I'll hook you up. But yeah, he was on my guest list. Actually, he was on my guest list for the entire tour, by the way, which I don't know if you guys know that, but he was. Because I wanted to talk to him about Shiba Inu. But Shiba Army, yes. But you guys don't know what I'm talking about. But Doge is fine, but Shiba. So yeah, we went out to, Starbase, and it was just amazing, man. So much so that the next day, we were driving towards the airport. We knew we were going to cut it close, but I said, if we're really not that far, we could go one more time. And he's like, let's do it. So we drove to Starbase right before I left Brownsville, and I took a bunch of pictures and stuff. There was a video I was going to play tonight, but I forgot to download it. But there's a video that I took that you can clearly see that I was a little too close to the rocket, that I was in a spot where I probably wasn't supposed to be, and I filmed it. And right as I was filming, I heard a voice, and then suddenly I turned and there was a car, and he's like, you need to get off that property. And I was like, oh, I messed up. I didn't realize that I had actually gone, well, I knew what I was doing, but I didn't know that I was getting too close. So I got really close to that rocket. I would say that I was about less than 100 feet from one of the launch pads. So that video, I put it on Instagram so you can see it. And I'm still going through pictures on my camera that I took there at night. I can't say that they're good because I was so excited, but I was just happy to be there. It was more about the experience of being there than trying to get good pictures. I wasn't in photographer mode at that moment. I was just in, I can't believe I'm at Starbase mode. So that was like a big highlight too. So that just ended that whole Texas thing in such a big way, So anyway, I'm pumped. I can't wait till El Centro, and that ends all the shows for 2021. And it was fantastic. It's been great. Fans have been awesome. As I said, so far so good. I've got some really good ideas for El Centro. It's a bit different because I get to drive with my equipment, so maybe I'll have extra things on stage that normally aren't on stage. So that might be kind of cool. We'll see. So I'm going to work that out all this week because, that's it. There's not much, there's not much left, for me to think about other than maybe like a possible different mix of something or other. And so I want to work that out in the next few days so that I have them with me when I go to El Centro. But like I said, it's cool because I get to take these things with me in a way that I don't normally get to if I'm flying. So who knows? Who knows what I'll take out? It might be really cool. It might be really dumb, but I'm going to try some interesting things when I get to El Centro. El Centro, by the way, has a special place in my heart because it was in Mexicali / El Centro that Anything Box played as a 5-piece, and we actually had a drummer on stage, a girl drummer, and so that was fantastic. So that always stays in my head when I think of El Centro. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, I'm definitely thinking of bringing some extra gear and all that stuff. So it'll be interesting. It'll be an interesting show. Oscar's telling me what it was. Yes, Kalia, which by the way, I still don't have pictures or footage or anything. So if you find anything from anyone, put the feelers out there. Anyone who filmed it, I would love to see some film and pictures of that show, because that was kick-ass, man. Anyway, we've come to the end, my friends. It is time. So I'm going to end the way we started. I'm going to end with a very rare version of Living in Oblivion, which was recorded to tape in 1988. This was a version that would appear, well, was supposed to appear on our first demo, but literally it wouldn't fit on the tape, so we didn't put it on the tape. But it was on the master reel to reel, and later on, we kind of just added it on to like a B-side or something. But it's very rare, and so I'm going to play that tape. And with that, I'm going to say goodnight. So, overhead on. I think we'll go for the moon. Yeah, we'll go for the moon. And this is called This Is My Oblivion.
So I ask again, am I so alone and full of pride to never speak out?
Good night.
This is my world, this is my world. You can't hide the pain. I can see it scrawled on your empty face, and I feel the hurts. It's in the words you say that make me want to scream down to the world for taking life for granted. You are by my side when I turn to hear you cry. I am so afraid of living in oblivion. I am so afraid of living
Good night, you guys.
I'm tired of it. Can't you see it?